A record 6.7 million people in Britain are in financial difficulty, warns a debt charity. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that a record 6.7 million people in Britain are in financial difficulty, warns a debt charity. The surge in requests to help reported as nearly 30% of the 18 to 24-year-olds are missing 3 or more credit or bill payments. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, if you can hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. 6.7 million people in Britain in financial difficulty. This is a lot of things that are tied into this. So first of all, obviously, the main crux of this obviously is the cost of living crisis. Without a shadow of a doubt, energy bills, council tax, your car insurance, your regular payments, all these things have gone up. There's absolutely no question about it. You're seeing it on your bills if you own a house or a home. These bills have gone up. And for some people, they have been on the edge. For some people are on the edge when it comes to these bills. And these bills have continued to go up. And it's got to the point where some people have fallen off that cliff. And now they find themselves either homeless or living with their parents or whatnot. Living with family because they are unable to live independently because of these record high bills, because of these financial difficulties that they've put themselves in, debts that they cannot seem to pay back off. And it's so easy for people to simply comment and saying, well, if people manage their bills better, they wouldn't be so much in this situation. What people need to understand is not everyone can get a high echelon job. Not everyone can get a job worth 30, 40, 50 grand a year. Some people are stuck earning 20, 25 grand a year, sometimes even less than that. Some even less than that. And there are people in situations where there are even couples that are struggling just to get on by, despite the fact that both the couples are working full-time jobs and the wages aren't there for them. Yeah, the minimum wage is too low still. There are still many jobs in the industry where they're just not enough. The payments for them are just not high enough, and it's what am I supposed to do sort of scenario. Like, that's the thing. They're in this scenario of what am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to go to? And they're desperately needing for help. Now, obviously, people like the money saving expert Martin Lewis, obviously he's someone that I recommend, obviously, whenever, if you are somebody who is in financial difficulty and maybe you need some help, maybe give him a try to maybe help you with one or two things that may help you. There are other organisations out there that can help you if you are somebody who is in financial difficulty. But this number, this was nowhere near, in far as I'm aware, we had this issue in under a Labour government. There may have been people in financial difficulty, but we're talking about 6.7 million people. I also think Brexit has had a factor into this, because Brexit has had a part when it comes to that's also had a hamper when it comes to our inflation, because of how difficult it has been to get food in and out. And that's only going to get worse as we impose more sanctions on ourselves, as the more the Brexit red tape comes into fruition. That means that obviously things that we used to buy that was cheaper has now gone up, and there's no sign, and they're not going to be going down, they're only going to be going one way. So there's also that to take into account. Thank you very much for those who voted Brexit. So, and there's that's playing a part in it too. So where's the solution? Well, we just want help. People have no money in their pockets. People need money put in their pockets. Tax cuts are not going to solve this situation, which is something that the Chancellor had in his budget, and the government want to do is initiate tax cuts. Tax cuts are not going to sort out your debts. They're not going to sort out the empty pockets there. If you're not making enough money, tax cuts are not going to make the shreddest of difference whatsoever. So all these things are playing a part into it. So a record 6.7 million people in Britain are in financial difficulty, a campaign group has claimed, as the cost of living crisis pushes more households into debt. A survey for the Debt Justice found that 13% of adults had missed 3 or more credit or bill payments in the last 6 months, a figure that rose to 29% among 18 to 24-year-olds and a quarter of 25 to 34-year-olds. The claim is supported by data from charities showing a surge of requests for help with problem debts and official figures published on Friday showing an increase in the number of people becoming insolvent. Crosslight Advice, a charity providing debt and money advice in London and the southeast of England, said inquiries were up by a fifth in the last 2 months of 2024, compared with the same period last year, reflecting a growing need for those struggling to make ends meet. Although energy bills and some other prices have fallen from their peak, rents and mortgages are much higher than they were before the crisis and are straining household budgets. On Friday, an insolvency service latest figures showed that 10,136 people entered insolvency in February, a rise of 26% in the same month last year. Of these, 709 were bankruptcies, 6,420 were individual voluntary arrangements, IVAs, where people arrange to repay some of their debts but usually have a percentage written off. And 3,007 were debt relief orders, DROs. The latter is an arrangement aimed at those who owe less than £30,000 and have less than £2,000 in savings. That's really, when not having any kind of money, any kind of savings, when you're eating into your savings, that's really, really a bad sign as well. In the recent budget, the Chancellor announced he was removing the £90 charge for a DRO from April the 6th to make them more affordable. Debt Justice says he wanted all political parties to commit to helping those in unmanageable debt to make a fresh start to give them a protection against harassment by debt collectors. In a Together Against Debt manifesto launched as Debt Awareness Week begins, it outlines a range of measures that would protect consumers, including a legal duty for care for local authorities and government departments chasing debt. Joe Cox, a senior policy officer for Debt Justice, says the household debt crisis was becoming ever more entrenched. We need to see more policies in party manifestos that can match the scale of the UK household debt emergency, as millions of people are currently weighed down by debt and intolerable strain. It is time for some political leadership. Bruce Connell, Crosslight Advice Chief Executive, said although everyone has been affected in some way by the cost of living crisis, the charity's data was a reminder that huge numbers of people are finding themselves in impossible financial situations. Almost half of those who contacted the charity for help have had to cut back or go without food because of financial pressures, he said. Connell added, when you're in such a situation, it's hard to see any light at the end of the tunnel, which is why Debt Awareness Week is so important. It's a chance to highlight the support that is available and a reminder why services such as ours are needed more than ever. And they are needed more than ever, and I'm grateful for them for what they do, and I'm grateful for other organisations out there who are trying to help people mitigate their debts and try and count their pennies without having to eat into their savings whatsoever. And that's really, really important, that you really need to manage your finances as best as you possibly can. But for some people it's more harder than others, and there are so many mitigating factors. But I think a lot of these, we have to remember, as a lot of these factors could have been avoided by if the government had taken stronger action on certain things as well. You know what happened with the quatrain budget by the former Chancellor, by his budget under the former Prime Minister Liz Truss, sent mortgages soaring as a result of his action there, and that only made things worse for people. The rich are much richer. One of the things that that the rich are getting richer, and there's no tax in sight for them from either the Conservatives or Labour, and it's infuriating to know that people in the middle and low incomes are looking to count their pennies. Even though they're working, some of these people who are in these situations, not because that they want to, not because they were put in there, but because of decisions that have been made by the government and actions that have been made and policies that they've implemented that has put people in these financial situations. It's not always a case of just the person should be doing more, or the person's not working enough, or not getting a second job. Which is what some of these pathetic politicians say when they have no idea what it's like for some people to work with little to no income whatsoever. No, it's not a case of that. Policy matters, when it comes to dealing with these and helping people find the best jobs they can, helping them secure their debt, helping them clear the debts, and supporting them in the best way possible. This is something that governments, local authorities should be doing to making sure that people are able to deal with these in the best way possible. And there seems to be a lack of that. And again, you're looking at charities who are looking out of their ways to try and help people. Again, where is the government? What is its responsibility? Its responsibility is supposed to be looking after its people, and once again, it's abdicated in its responsibility to do that. 6.7 million people in Britain are in financial difficulty. I'm pretty certain, I don't even need to look this up, I'm pretty certain we didn't have 6.7 million people in financial difficulty before 2010. But if you can prove it to me otherwise, please provide me with some sources. What do you guys think? What do you think should be done? Is this an abject failure of Conservative and previous Labour governments? Is this a case of policy that's not being done? Is this just to do with the cost of living crisis? Is it tied into Brexit? Is there lots of mitigating factors into this? What do you guys honestly think about this? And what more could be done to help people when it comes to their financial difficulties? Let me know your thoughts and more in the comment section down below. If you can, hit the like button, we greatly appreciate. Share it across social media and hit that bell notification icon so you'll be notified of when I upload another video. And subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And for those who are not in financial difficulty and those who are able to support others, if you want to financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.